What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday night. It is us again, one more time. This is the one, the only Mr. Brent here with Mr. RT Casas coming up. Before we get started, though, just want to say thank you guys for joining us one more time. Don't forget to follow us on the social media scene. You can follow us on Twitter at blown_save and on Instagram at the blown save. Don't forget, you guys can still reach out to us at the blown save podcast at gmail.com. And we also have some merch. Go ahead and check out theblown.savepodcast.com. And at the bottom there, we have a bunch of merch or links to our merchandise and stuff like that. Artie just picked up a few things. And he's pretty excited. He likes the way the neck gaiters look, the way the neck gaiters feel. He's all about that stuff like that. So speaking of which, let me bring the one, the only Mr. RT Casas. How you doing, baby?
What's up? How are we doing?
We're doing, baby. We're doing. And that's the main thing.
All good over here.
Hell yeah. We had a good time the other day playing some golf together, didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun times. First time I haven't broke 100 in a while.
Hey, well, the driver was not working for you. It's okay.
It was not. Wish I would have put it away a little bit sooner.
You were hitting that iron, dude, hard. I'm sorry, but you were hitting that iron hard.
Yeah, should have gone to it a little bit sooner, but
yeah, you might have broke.
Right.
You would have definitely been in the 90s had you broken to it sooner.
All right. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I agree. Sorry, live and learn. Do it sooner next time.
I mean, even at halftime or halfway through when you went back and you were talking to it, you were like, "Come on, guy, come on, let's go, let's go, let's get it done."
Yeah, I was like, "Don't you see what Dustin Johnson's doing? You can do it. You can do it."
That's just how it works sometimes, you know.
Yep.
All right, man. Let's jump into it. Oh, by the way, have you heard anything? Are we going this week or what's happening?
You know what? He hasn't responded. I need to hit him up. I need to actually call him to see if we're gonna go. Yeah, I just don't know what days. I got to figure out what best. You told me what works best for your schedule, which is great, and I just got to talk to him.
Yeah, Friday pretty much is the only day I can't do it just because I have a doctor's appointment. But you know, everything else other than that, let's rock and roll. Unless we tee off at like 6 a.m., then you know, I have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. I can't miss. So, yeah, anywho, let's jump into the NCAA. Some football news. The Pac-12 announced that its CEO group has approved the flexibility for the Pac-12 universities to schedule non-conference game opponents subject to certain parameters. Now, they made it very stringent on how they can approve some of these games. All Pac-12 testing and related protocols must be adhered to by the non-conference opponents. The non-conference games will, in all cases, be a home game for the Pac-12 team, broadcast by the Pac-12 television provider exclusively. So they have to come play in the West Coast. The West Coast teams aren't going anywhere. And finally, if the Pac-12 opponent becomes available by the end of the day Thursday in any given week, the conference game must be played in lieu of any non-conference game. So let's just say like there is a delay in one of the games because a team had some COVID or whatever. If another conference team is available, then they're going to play the conference team before they're going to play a non-conference team if it's by Thursday afternoon or something like that, or by the end of Thursday and stuff like that. So they're finally opening up to other teams. I know that the big game between Notre Dame and USC was the one that we were all looking forward to, and then it got canceled because they were a non-conference team. I wonder which non-conference teams are going to be willing to adhere to the parameters and come play in the Pac-12. What do you think, Artie?
I'm kind of curious, especially how updated is this? Because didn't we just go on like, doesn't tomorrow start the curfew and stuff like that for COVID?
There is, yeah. So the governor in California, this was yesterday, that I pulled this up. But the governor of California is shutting everything down one more time. So we'll have to wait and see. It basically means like there can be games, but nobody can be there. Like nobody who's not essential personnel can't be there. So it'll be interesting to see.
The same way he had his birthday party outdoors, but it was really indoors with everybody not wearing masks but being socially distanced, right?
I mean, when you got money and you don't think nobody's paying attention, you do what you want. Look at Trump. Look at all the rich people, man.
You ain't lying.
Do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing.
Right. So yeah, man, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Let's just be real. I don't think any non-conference team is gonna jump at the chance to be like, well, we have to go over there, and we're gonna televise it on your network, and like we can get canceled on if if something else comes up. Like, bitch, no.
Jump all these through all these hoops just to meet. Yeah, I don't see it, man. And right now, USC is the biggest name, and they're just not that big of a draw. You know, like the team isn't that good. They squeaked out 2 wins.
They've barely got those 2 wins. They got a big one against Utah this week, and Jesus.
Yeah, they're not the powerhouse right now to be making those kind of shot calling moves, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's gonna happen. I'd be surprised. I don't see any team in the Pac-12 really having that kind of pull. Just to be honest, I don't know what else to say other than that.
Well, I mean, they did start the season ranked 24th, and this last week they were 20th. I didn't get to see where they're at right now, but I mean, they're trending in the right direction, I guess. But they definitely have a lot to work on. Big shout out to your boy who got another touchdown this game, right?
Steven Carr, man, he's on fire, dude. He's got two games, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, that's batting 1,000 so far.
Yep.
Speaking of batting 1,000, Robinson Cano has been suspended for the 2nd time after popping positive for PED use, and he will be suspended for the entirety of the 2021 season for his use of the drug stanozolol. You know what I'm talking about. Cano will forfeit his $24 million salary for the season. He will still have 2 years left on his contract with $48 million remaining when he returns in 2022. And more importantly than money, he may have just sealed his fate for any shot at the Hall of Fame. He had a really big uphill battle due to the first suspension, but after this, it pretty much ends his any chance that he might have had. And I mean, he has pretty good numbers. I think right now, without the PED pops, he has Hall of Fame candidate numbers. I mean, he's a career 303 hitter, 2,600 plus hits, 571 doubles, 334 home runs, 1,300 RBIs, a 68.9 WAR as at this point. A superb hitter, and he just basically threw it away. And I mean, what's your take on this, Artie? Like, are you surprised? Are you disappointed?
Disappointed. I mean, I don't think he was going to be a Hall of Famer before that. Anyways, as soon as he had his one interaction or run-in with PEDs, that was it. That weren't his chances of making the Hall of Fame. If you ask me. I've kind of mentioned it before. I think the one person that will be a known PED user and like a for sure dude that gets into the Hall of Fame that I think is going to get in is David Ortiz. I really want to see like how much people start talking about it once he comes up for a shot at being in the Hall of Fame, because I mean, he really changed the DH. I feel like he really made it cool to be a DH type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody forgets, man, that he got caught for PEDs. In that same tone, I was hearing how some people might have overlooked Robinson Cano the first time because it was a masking agent. And again, it wasn't like an actual PEDs, it was a masking agent. But the thing is, why do you take a masking agent? Because you're taking PEDs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that they're talking about. They're like, he could have maybe, like, if he would have hit the 3,000 hits and you know, and blah, 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 like all the things that they talk about, right?
Yeah.
If he would have done this, he would have done that, maybe he could have got away with, and maybe eventually, not first ballot, but eventually make the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. And
after this, that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some of the ballot, the guys that are coming in on their last year for eligibility here in a second, but I was trying to figure out what's an average, like a 300 hitter. How many hits does he get during the season on average, off the top of your head?
Well, it just depends. I mean, anybody could have a 300 batting average. If you go 3 for 10, you're gonna hit 300.
Right.
It just depends. There's no exact number.
If you do 3 hits a game, then 152 games. Let's just call it 145 in case you need some rest here and there. 3 hits at 145 games. What's that? What's the math there?
It's just not that. That's just not the way it works. So because walks come into play and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would say like a dude that's gonna hit 300 is gonna have roughly 150 hits a game.
Okay. So looking
I
at
mean,
it,
a game, a season.
looking at his hits right now, over 2 seasons, because he only has 2 seasons left now because he's forfeiting the next one because of the PED use. He's at 20. He's
Nobody's gonna touch him when he comes back.
Well, he's still under contract with the.
They're gonna let him go.
You think
He's
so?
got 1 year. He's got 1 year left when he comes back. He's under contract this year. They don't have to pay him, and when he comes back, he has 1 year left, and they're just gonna eat the money instead of have a deal with a PR headache. And a dude that's entering, he'll be what, 39? I think 39 right. When he comes back.
Yeah, when he comes back.
After a full year of being off. Yeah, man, I don't think anybody wants that. That dude's not gonna. That's at least that's what MLB Network, all them were saying. Like, they're all like, man, they're gonna cut ties with them. They might not do it right now, but eventually they'll just cut ties with them, and nobody's gonna mess with him. He's just gonna be blackballed.
I was gonna say, because if you put 150 hits over 2 seasons, let's say that's 300 hits. That puts him right at the cusp of 3,000. I mean, granted, that's not going to push him over, some Hall of Fame voters here. But I mean, I don't think he's going to get it, even if he hits 3,000 hits, and he keeps that batting average over 300. I mean, but still, even then, 2-time PED use, it just ain't working. Here's a big question before we get into the Hall of Fame stuff. Joe Pulaski said it properly, I think. Is being denied the Hall of Fame in any way a motivator to keep players from using PEDs? He says, I guess it isn't. What do you think, Artie? Is it still a deterrent, or should MLB find a bigger way to punish PED use and PED users other than, well, you're not going to get in the Hall of Fame? I mean, he's still, going to get paid. He still got paid. He still made his money. So at the end of the day, he's like, fuck it. I made my money.
Well, he's not going to get paid this 24 mil, but everybody's talking about, so not everybody, but I heard a really good one from Sean Casey on MLB Network, saying that dudes that get caught using PEDs, there should be something in the collective bargaining agreement that voids their contract. For that just voids their contract, man. That says, that the team has a right to opt out of the contract that they have with them.
Right. I'm good with that.
That would be big, because I think, honestly, that's what PEDs really is, pushes people, or why people do PEDs, because they do it for the money, man. Like, that comes with the stats that you put up, like the contract. That's why people do it,
Yeah.
I mean, Hall of Fame, what's the word I'm looking for? Hall of Fame opportunities are few and far between, like, it's, you need a whole career, bro, worth of numbers to have a shot at the Hall of Fame, And even that, you still got to catch, like, just all the breaks, be healthy, stuff like that,
Yeah.
So I just don't think PEDs is like a big thing that they think about. I think PEDs, they see it as more like as a reason to get those fat contracts. My opinion. I think that's why they do it more than anybody.
Doing it to get paid and not worried about it. If I go down in history as one of the best, who cares, man? I got paid and my family's taken care of or whatever.
Exactly. I know I would do it for that. I mean, most people, especially like a lot of these dudes come from nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's rare. It's there's only a handful that really come from like pedigree. Like Vladdy Jr. and stuff like that. There's not that many. Most of them come from nothing, dude.
Yeah. So and I have to go back here for a second, because you said you would do it for that reason. You would go and.
I mean, I could see myself doing it if I was in their situation. I mean, dude, a lot of these dudes, if you don't do it, like, I remember Sean Green a long time ago when I was a sports writer, was saying, dude, like, there's so many people that are doing this. They're just, nobody's getting caught at the time, and now only a few dudes are being caught. These are just the dudes that are being caught, Brent. These aren't the dudes that, it's not like there's not other dudes that aren't doing it. They're just not being caught. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are, I don't know what the percentage is, but I know Sean Green was talking about like, dude, like it was in the 60 to 70 percentage range back when he was playing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to take a wild guess right now, I would say I don't think any less than 30%, any higher than 50, I guess, on the high end. You know, but
Yeah.
I firmly believe there's 30%, you know, like they're probably doing it some form, some way. They're doing masking agents again. Like yeah, dude. Yeah, I really do believe it. I really do believe it for sure.
So as a baseball purist and a man who loves the game, would you roll the dice and do it for the money, or would you stick to your guns? Even like let's just say you were having a on the cusp kind of career, like you're close. Like, would you risk it?
Like, what kind of contract I was having? Like I had lined up already, you know. Like if I was having a Hall of Fame career, I wouldn't do it, you know. But these dudes, they're different animals, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes have. Look at Barry Bonds, man.
Oh,
Like,
we're about to get into him right now.
you know, like I mean, bro, that dude was a Hall of Famer. He didn't need to do all that shit, you know. And again, oh, I unknowingly, blah blah blah, this and this and that. If I did, I didn't know I did it. Again, bro, for someone that's so anal about like all the damn stuff that they do, who they talk to and stuff like that, all of a sudden now you're like, oh man, if I did do it, I didn't know, you know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, oh, it wasn't me.
Yeah, dude. And again, these dudes are just so, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. So, like where it's just all about themselves, man. They really don't think about like how this impacts the game, how it impacts others, how it impacts society, people they look up to, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just really don't see that stuff. So I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. Like I could think of another dude, and this one I won't throw his name out there because he's like a dude I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, but he was stuck at like AAA, dude, with the Yankees, man, and he couldn't break into the majors. And he was a good ball player, man, but he was already pushing, you know, late 20s, and his window was closing. And then this dude got traded to the Padres, and he was on that list of, you know, of people using PEDs, and then the Padres cut him after that year, and then that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And I could understand why he did the PEDs, because he was like, man, he's like, I've done everything I could, like naturally. Now I got to do something.
This is all like it's my last shot here. Might as well let's try and do it.
Well, and he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He's not a bad guy. So it's like when you get in that situation, everything changes. You know?
Yeah.
Like I could again. That's why I say like if you're telling me I was in his situation, where I'm like, hey, well, everybody else is doing it, and I want my shot of making the majors, and I already did everything I could, and I'm still not getting my shot, then I'm down. You know? Like, why not?
Why not me? If not them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So again, I wouldn't do it just because I'm like, oh man, just to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just to do it is like it has some reasoning behind it, you know?
Yeah, I got you there. I mean, I don't know. Being put in a situation like that, I don't know what I'd do, but I want to say that I would be like, nah, man, I love the game too much. I don't want to. I think it would eat me up inside knowing that I cheated to get to what I wanted, like the Hall of Fame, or just even to break into the majors. I mean, I would love to have pitched one ball. You know what I mean? I don't care if they fucking hit a home run off it, but just to pitch one ball off of a major league mound. You know what I mean? Standing out there, the whole crowd, you know, roaring out there. I mean, I get the allure and the love of the game kind of thing. Like, you want to be there. Like, it's the only thing you've been working towards your entire life, and you're stuck somewhere, and then, you know, like, fuck it, let me just try this to try and break in. And unfortunately it backfired.
Until you get there.
Yeah.
And until you walk a mile in my shoes, you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, I could see some reasoning. I don't understand some of these dudes, you know. I was hearing someone's theory with Robinson Cano talking about like how he did it because without it, he knew he was not going to get those numbers that he needed to get to be in the Hall of Fame. So he was rolling the dice and saying, well, if I get caught, I get caught because without it, I wasn't gonna make it anyways. But if I don't get caught and I make it, well, there you go. It's worth the risk. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Again, that's like the theory. He wasn't like a lock for a Hall of Fame. The dudes are like Barry Bonds. You know what I'm saying? Those are like I feel like those are egotistical type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like a Robinson Cano, again, that was just a theory that I heard out there, and I was like, man, that kind of makes sense because, yeah, he probably wouldn't be close to getting anywhere near those numbers without that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, might as well give it a shot because if not, he already has his money. He already made money. It's not like he was trying to get a fat contract. Yeah, he's forfeiting that money, but think about it. Again, he might have had bigger money waiting for him if he ended up making it to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he would have kept that money. Like all those things got to come into play into the equation. I don't know. I'm not trying to justify. I'm just trying to give you reasons of why. You know, instead of just like plain black and white. It's that's wrong. It's wrong, which I understand. Like I get it. Like I totally agree. You know, but I could see reasoning why people do it, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's speaking of reasoning, okay, and the Hall of Fame and people trying to get in and the PED use. They just recently put out the 2021 Hall of Fame nominees. We're going to go over a few names that are on their final time on the ballot. This will be their 10th year on the ballot. Whether or not they will be able to finally break into it, or they're going to fall to the wayside. Among the players returning to the Hall of Fame ballot, Curt Schilling, who's received votes on 70% of the ballots this year, most out of anybody returning. Schilling is on the ballot for the ninth time this year, 10th time and final time in 2021. The only other three candidates who receive at least 50% of the vote this year that weren't elected was Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, and Omar Vizquel. And basically the way it works for these guys who don't play along, who don't study it as much, any candidate who receives 75% of all ballots cast will earn an election to the Hall of Fame. 14 former players are returning for the 2021 ballot after receiving at least 5% vote in 2020. Now, the big names to look at here, obviously, Curt Schilling, he's got 70%. He needs 5% more to get into the Hall of Fame. Clemens and Bonds right behind him at 61 and at 60, respectively. And then after that, there's a little bit of a drop-off. Omar Vizquel with 52.6% in his fourth year only, so he's still got some time to build up some rapport, I guess you want to call it that. And then everybody else drops down into like the 30s and the 20s and stuff like that. The only other person who is in there coming into their 10th and final season in the on the ballot is Sammy Sosa, but he only has 13.9% of the vote as it is. Artie, do you think Schilling, Clemens, and Bonds, and Vizquel, really, I mean, he's got 5 more years to go after 2021. Do you think they have an opportunity or a chance to get in, or do you think they're still going to be blackballed and they're not going to make the cut?
Are we talking about who'd you say, Clemens and Bonds?
So we got Curt Schilling, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds.
I know, but who did you ask the question about being blackballed?
All 4 of them, really. Schilling, Clemens, Bonds, and Vizquel, because they're the 4 high ones. They're the ones that were big on the PED stuff. I know Curt Schilling, they said he talked himself out of he played himself into the Hall of Fame and he talked himself out of it after testifying and whatnot and did that. But he's at 70%.
I don't remember him ever being connected to PEDs directly. Curt
Schilling, he was he was in that list of people that what's his name, Canseco dimed out, and he went up when they had the hearings at Congress or whatever. He went over there and testified, and a lot of the analysts are saying like he played himself into the Hall of Fame, but he talked himself out of it. He couldn't figure out a right way to like kind of sidetrack that he actually used performance enhancing drugs.
The Mitchell
Silence.
report.
Silence across the board. Yeah, the Mitchell report. Do you think? What do you think?
Okay.
Schilling, Clemens,
Yeah,
Bonds,
okay.
or Vizquel?
So
Do you
I'm gonna
think?
be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Schilling was one of the dudes on the Mitchell report. That's why I didn't understand that.
Okay.
I did know he got called up to testify, and yeah, he did sound really dumb and stuff like that up there. I don't know why. I just didn't think I saw Schilling's name on that list. Well, you said four. Omar Vizquel ain't one of them. I mean, that dude's tiny as hell. He wasn't on the list for anything. But yeah, man. Now that he was on that list, I don't see him getting in. Before I really didn't know he was on that list. I would have said he was gonna get in this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he gets in, knowing that he's on the list now. So I would say he doesn't get in. I would say for sure Clemens and Bonds, because you could see Clemens and Bonds, bro. Like, you know, you do the eye test, right? Like they talk about like an athlete and stuff like that when they're good, and you're like, man, they just passed the eye test. Like, they look good, you know, they look like ball players.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could tell those dudes' bodies changed, like at an older age, not even like, you know, like from Trout, you know, from Davy Trout to, you know, Manly Trout, you know, like,
Yeah.
dude, Trout changed, you know, at the right times, you know, in his 20s.
Yeah.
These dudes changed their body in their 30s, you know, like mid to late 30s, right? Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was like, whoa, what the hell? And that's after having Clemens was basically dead in the water, bro, in terms as a pitcher. Like, he was done. I mean, he went over to Toronto, man, and he was basically done. And all of a sudden he got on the juice and came back alive, and then came back with the Yankees, and he was alive again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So Bonds was not dead in the water. Bonds just seemed to enhance his abilities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think any three get in, but here's a catch. I think Bonds gets in eventually on the Veterans Committee, or at least, you know, what is it, the black the Negro Leagues Committee, man?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, because they just had not Rod Carew. Who was it that he just got in it this last year? I forget the name. We went over it too.
Harold Baines?
I don't remember
Baines,
off top of my head, but it could be.
So I could see Bonds getting in through there, dude, just because again, he has that background, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see him getting in. You know who I think really deserves to be in there, man? And his body really shifted normally, like nothing out of the ordinary. As far as I know, I didn't see him on the list, but again, I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Sheffield, man.
Well, Sheffield, he's on here. He's in his 7th year. This last year, he got 30.5% of the vote. We just had Gary Sheffield Day, 2 days ago.
Well, yeah, like, I see him on the list, dude. That's why I said it all. That's why I said his name. But he should be a lot higher, his percentage. Like, dude, do you realize he had 506 home runs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, 500 used to be the staple for the Hall of Fame. Like, why is I mean, I'm gonna check right here, but I don't remember seeing Gary Sheffield on the PED list.
Oh, no. Gary Sheffield was not on the PED list. I don't know, man. I mean, he's in his 7th year. He's going into his 8th year, so he's got 2 more years. Realistically, 8, 9. Well, technically 3. He's got 3 more years to try and break that. I think after Schilling, Clemens, and Bonds drop off.
So, am I reading this wrong here? It says Gary Sheffield's Hall of Fame chances ruined by Balco defense. He said it looks like he's using the same thing, that he didn't know that it was a PED. Oh, where's the quote? They had it. The more important issues were people attesting to play. Sheffield's comments a concern. Rob Manfred, Executive Vice President of Labor Relations, called Sheffield's comments a concern, but said the player faces no repercussion because the purported steroid use occurred before baseball started its testing program. Cheating is cheating, or they don't believe it. Regardless of the player choose cheating, blah, blah, blah. So I could see So Sheffield basically used something before it was actual PED.
Mm-hmm.
Different fielding. He didn't trust anyone before that. Blah blah blah. When Porter wandered, Milwaukee, and Town
So what do you
Sheffield.
think? You think he's getting blackballed because of using it beforehand, or
Oh yeah. I mean, again, dude, it's just because. I mean,
because here's my question then? Because obviously Schillings, Clemens, and Bonds is going to drop off, and they are the three biggest voters or vote getters right now, with Schilling at 70%. Do you think with those three dropping down, do you think Sheffield then goes up?
I think it'll be very curious to see how it works out because I mean I didn't know that he had this again. I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know about this. So I mean it's hard to say. Like it was before, like before. But I mean so was Bonds and them. They did all that before the testing, before it started getting big.
Yeah.
Like so I could see what the issue is there. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Let's take the big
I
name.
want to see. I want to see where he's at after this year.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this is his seventh year. You said,
Yeah.
Gary
So he's
Sheffield?
going into his 8th year.
Okay, so the truth is, we're not even gonna know until next year after these dudes are off the list whether he has a real shot. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
people are still gonna vote. Like, all these dudes at the top three, four, their percentages are all gonna go up a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think any of them. I don't think any of them. Their percentages go down. Now, the top three. This is it, right? You said this is their last year.
This is their last year coming up. Yeah. The
Yeah.
2020 was their 9th year. So
Right.
2021 is it. That's the only chance they got, other
I get
than
it.
the senior
I get
vote.
it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Remember we talked about overkill? I get it. It does matter. Simple question. Just say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the top three are done. So shade the top three, right? So that leaves us Vizquel, Rowland, Wagner, Sheffield, right? The votes are gonna go to other people. Now next year, I want to see how high of a percentage Sheffield goes up to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to be really interesting. What do you think about that? Like, okay, let's throw just for shits and giggles. Let's throw this year's percentage of what you think they go up to. That'd be fun, And
Yeah.
let's just go over under, right? So let's go over under 75% for Schilling. Over under.
I think he's under. I think he gets really close. I think he gets to like 73.5, 74, but I don't think he gets to 75%.
And they need 75%.
You need 75% of the vote to qualify for the Hall of Fame.
I'm with you. I say under too.
Okay.
Roger Clemens over or under 70%.
Under. I think he ends his Hall of Fame push at like 65.
Okay. Bonds over under 67%.
I'm going to go over on this one. I think he gets like 71, 72 in his final year, but I don't think he gets in either.
Okay. Omar Vizquel over under 60%.
I think he stays under. I think he sticks around 58% right there in the next year.
Next year, this year? You talking about this year?
Well, yeah, 2021.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Then next year, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Um. Then we got Scott Rowland, who I don't think is really a Hall of Famer. He was a good player. Billy Wagner, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think Gary Sheffield has the credential numbers for Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, okay, Gary Sheffield, over under 40%.
I'm gonna go under. I think he's gonna jump up a little bit. I think he'll be like 38.5, 39, but I don't think he breaks 40 because a lot of these votes are still gonna be going to Schillings, Clemens, and Bonds. But after that, I think in 2022, which will be his seventh?
Is it me or is they don't get like a certain number of votes? Like they say, hey, you could only vote for 7 people. It's like, who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
So I'll say over 40% on him.
Okay.
Todd Helton, over under 35%.
Under, I think.
He's gonna be real close to that 35%.
I,
But he's a Coors Field aided dude
and
a
he's
lot.
only in his third year, so I think his
Yeah.
votes are gonna go up eventually. But I think coming into his fourth year, I don't think he's gonna be over 35.
All right, Manny Ramirez,
Under whatever you're gonna say.
under 30%.
Mm.
30%.
Shit, I think he might break 30, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think he gets in either. This is a dude that is he connected to PEDs? Jeff Kent? He was a hell of a second baseman, man.
I mean, for being as low as he
Yeah.
is, I mean, he might be at this point.
Jeff Kent. Let's check it out. I'm typing it in.
All right. What about Andrew
He's a local
Jones?
boy too, as far as
What about Andrew Jones? He's at 19.4, over under 28.
okay. Jeff Kent is got my vote, dude, because that dude's pretty damn good.
Mm.
Jeff Kent, I think, should be cracking 50%. If you ask me. I think he gets into high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Jones, he had what a 10-year run where he was pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Pretty damn good. He had, I think, 10 Gold Gloves. I believe he was hurt one year. He was pretty damn good. But a Hall of Famer, man, we're talking about more than 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I honestly kind of feel like to be a Hall of Famer, you had to have like 15 good years. I know 10's nice, but I believe like 15 pretty damn good ones that makes you a Hall of Famer. Unless you had like 10 elite ones. And Andrew Jones did not have 10 elite years,
I agree. I agree.
you know?
Now, Slammy Sosa, what you think about Slammy? He ain't gonna make it, dude. He's coming up on his last year. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry.
Nah, for sure. I don't either.
What about Mr. Andy Pettit?
There's another dude that came out with PEDs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He came out with PEDs, and I really thought, again, he had all the Hall of Fame credentials, but I mean, PEDs are PEDs, dude. So, and he's the way I thought. He came out as far as I remember, he came out very close to the same time that David Ortiz came out, but I could be wrong, dude.
Mm.
But yeah, he doesn't get in.
And then we got Bobby Bray. You think he breaks double digits next year?
Man, again, he was a good player, man, but he's not a Hall of Famer, you know.
I liked him. He played for the Angels for a while. He played for the Yankees. I mean, he was a very solid player, but I don't think Hall of Fame caliber. I mean, to be honest with you.
So it says yeah, that David Ortiz got the PED test in 2003. David Ortiz says he failed the PED test leak because too many Yankees tested positive. David Ortiz opens up on what he can do to convince people he was never a PED user. And I don't believe people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meat. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I'm with you there. Hey, let me throw a little curveball at you. Debuting on the ballot this year, Mark Burrell, AJ Burnett, Michael Kadire, Dan Herron, LaTroy Hawkins, Tim Hudson, Torrey Hunter, Aramis Ramirez, Nick Swisher, Shane Victorino, and Barry Zito. Does anybody on that list right there have a potential first ballot Hall of Fame run?
I don't know. Like I don't even know when the next first ballot Hall of Famer comes out, man. Like I can't even think of another dude. None of those fools. I mean, yeah, there's no way. None of those dudes even cracked like, I don't know, not even like 25%.
Who do you think of that list right now does make it into the Hall of Fame within the next 5 to 6 years?
Who would I like to see or actually think makes it?
Give me both. Give me both.
Well, looking at the list, man, dude, if Ozzie Smith made it, I don't understand why Omar Vizquel can't make it. You know what I'm saying? That's one. I mean, he's the same player as Ozzie Smith, just he's the Latino version. You know what I'm saying? So like that's unfair if Omar Vizquel don't make it. So I think Omar is gonna make it eventually. You
Okay.
said he's entering what, his fourth year? Yeah, I think he makes it eventually. Do you have it?
Mhm.
Maybe after this year, so that he doesn't make it. Shit, maybe even jumps this year. To be honest, just to say like, hey, this dude played during an era when these buffoons played, and he made it. You know what I'm saying?
The buffoons.
Honestly, like I could see writers are always looking. I can't. Okay, because here's another storyline, bro. When's the last time that nobody made it to the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I know there was a year where only like 2 people made it in, but I don't remember the last time nobody went in. Do you know? I mean, when was it?
It says 1996 was the last time.
Oh wow.
1996. So me and you were what, freshmen in high school.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, dude. I mean, I honestly, if anybody makes it, it's Omar. I could see Omar making it eventually. I don't know when, where. People tend to give him that pass. I'd like to see Jeff Kent go up a lot more.
What about the new guys coming on the list for the first time? Who do you think gets in eventually?
I'd have to see the actual list. I don't.
Mark,
Yeah,
I named it for you. Mark.
I know, but like I can't picture it. Like I need to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
Um. ugh. I don't know, because I'd have to see it. Say the list again one more time. Let me see. I'll put an image in my head.
Here, I sent you the link right there.
Where, my cell phone?
No, on the document.
Okay.
Click on that bad
Let's
boy.
check it out here.
But for those of you guys playing at home, Mark Burrell, AJ Burnett, Michael Kadire, Dan Herron, LaTroy Hawkins, Tim Hudson, Torrey Hunter, Armis Ramirez, Nick Swisher, Shane Victorino, and Barry Zito are the ones that are coming in this year. And then once again, they can remain on the ballot for 10 years, provided they are not elected and are named at least or less than 5% on the ballot cast. If you're under 5%, then you got to go. But of the names there that I would like to see get in, I don't know if it's going to happen.
With Torrey Hunter already.
I was going to say Torrey Hunter, and I was going to say
He's an angel.
he was great with the Twins. Let's be real. He was great with the Twins. He started and ended his career with the Twins. I like him. I do like Dan Herron, and I do like Shane Victorino.
I think none of them get in.
Who do you think on the new list gets in, if anybody?
None.
None. Nobody here makes it in.
No. From the new list? Hell no. None of those are Hall of Famers, dude. I mean, bro, we don't want to turn into the NBA and leg Yao Ming's into the Hall of Fame. Like, Burley was pretty good. Torrey Hunter was pretty damn good. But I mean, bro, like, Torrey Hunter was pretty damn good, but Andrew Jones was better than Torrey Hunter. And if Andrew Jones ain't getting in, bro, Torrey Hunter ain't getting in.
Okay.
And I like Torrey Hunter. I really like him. I like him more than Andrew Jones. But I mean, that's just realistic, you know. Like, yeah, he's not getting in. Andrew Jones I believe has a World Series. I mean, I don't think Torrey Hunter has a World Series, you know. So like a lot of little things, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't. Yeah, I think Jeff Kent. I really think Jeff Kent is a dude that needs to get in. I think he was great for a long period of time. Not connected to any steroids or anything like that. I really think he should get in. I think he deserves to be in. Omar Vizquel. I'd have to see Billy Wagner's numbers. I mean, I don't know, man. I'd have to see Billy Wagner's numbers. I just believe same thing. I don't think Billy was great for over a long period of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just like same thing with like Torrey Hunter and Andrew Jones, man, they were really great for what, 10 years maybe, like really good players. But were they like, they were elite defenders, that was clear, and they were good hitters. And Andrew Jones might have had like 1 or 2 elite years because he had 1 year where he had 50 bombs. But I mean, off the top of your head, how many times do you think Torrey Hunter drove in 100 RBIs?
Oof, off top of my head, how many years did he play altogether?
Damn, I know.
I want to say 6 times.
Okay,
Five.
so
Five.
I would put the number would be that I would put over under is probably 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say he'd be under. Okay, let's check it out here.
All right, let's see
Over
what it
under
is.
RBIs, and it is 2. Yeah, man, he ain't making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, not with that.
And again, an elite defender, absolutely elite defender. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Jones. Over under our RBIs, Brent. 100 times, 100 RBIs in a season.
Over under how many?
Yeah. Let's go 5. Same thing. 5.
Over.
Over. Okay. I'm gonna say under as well too.
What is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, right on it.
Ah.
It's a push. It's a push. But look, he had one year where he was just elite, dude. He had 51 home runs, 120 RBIs. He had another year where he was 41 home runs, 129 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
He had another year where he was 36 home runs, 116 RBIs, 36 home runs, 104, 34 home runs, 104,
Mm-hmm.
35, 94. I mean, if anybody's gonna make it, it's him. But look at his brutal batting averages, man. He hit over 300 one time in his career, 303. Even that year where he hit 50 bombs, bro, he hit 263. You know, like his career batting average is 254. Career hits, he's under 2,000. I mean, again, I think he has 10 gold gloves, I believe. Trying to see where this is at, where it shows it. 10 gold gloves. 1 silver slugger. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, yeah, man, he doesn't, he not to say it, he doesn't hit a lot of benchmarks. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now the dude that I really like, remember I told you, I think Jeff Kent should be in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go two stat court categories because remember he was the second baseman for the prime of his, the majority of his career. So 30 home runs, over under 5 seasons with 30 or more home runs.
For Andrew Jones?
No, Jeff Kent.
Oh, Jeff Kent. Over.
Okay, I'm gonna say over as well too. I'm gonna say under 10, over 5. Well, I'm pretty sure under 10 for sure. I'm gonna say right around 7. Okay, and RBIs also too. He's another dude. He drove in a lot of runs. Over under 7 seasons with 100 or more RBIs.
Under.
I'm gonna say over. Okay, and this is why I think he's a Hall of Famer because I don't even know, but I'm gonna check right here.
All right.
RBIs. Okay, look, over 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Son of a
7,
bitch.
8 seasons with over 100 RBIs. Okay, 8 seasons. So the home runs, we said 30, and the number was 5, right? We said we both went over, right?
Right, we did. Oh, yeah, over on that one.
So 1, 2, 3. He only had 3, bro.
Oh
To
shit.
me, it makes it even more impressive that dude only hit over 30 home runs in a season 3 times, but had 8 seasons where he had 100 RBIs. Check out the rest of these numbers, Brent. Remember, we're talking about stats and plateaus, right?
Yeah.
Another plateau that's pretty standard is 2,500 hits, right? He had 2,461, so he was right next to 2,500 hits.
Right.
Another benchmark is having a 300 batting average, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hit 290 for his career. You know what I'm saying? So, like, dude, more benchmarks. He's got to be top 5 all time in home runs among second basemen. He's at 377. He's got to be top 3, I would guess, maybe for sure, top 5 RBIs among second basemen. He never did win MVP, but he was up there for All-Star games, and he had quite a few MVP nominations. I don't know, man. I just think he sustained it. He did it. He was an elite second baseman for a number of years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, interesting.
But I think that dude, yeah, Silver Slugger Award. Let's see, he won 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he didn't win all the Gold Gloves. But I mean, dude, he could hit. You know, like not too many players get in for fielding. They get it in for
The hitting.
for the offensive part. You know. So
I'm with you there. Okay, you've opened my eyes to a different way of looking.
yeah, I would take him, dude. He's a dude I think should be in there. Again, I know I compared Omar Vizquel's numbers to Ozzie Smith's in the past, and Omar has Ozzie beat in a lot of numbers, dude. A lot of numbers. I think he did win the MVP because it says here that they have him down as an MVP. I'm just trying to see. Oh, he did. He won it 1 year with the Giants. Yeah, he did. I was like, damn, I remember him winning one, but I thought I was wrong. Yeah, he won. See, and he has an MVP under his belt, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, what else you want, you know? What else you want?
True that.
That's he's got the credentials, he's got the benchmarks, he's not linked to steroids. Yeah, he's a dude that I think will get in. He might get in on his last year, but I think he gets in eventually.
Right on. All right, guys, you guys heard it from us. This is what's happening with the Hall of Fame next year and going forward. People are dropping off, which is good. Other people are moving up, which is great. And the new guys may not be here again in a couple years. So we keep moving forward. Other news with MLB, with the Padres, Slam Diego, Clevenger has signed a 2-year deal with the Padres, but will now need Tommy John surgery. $11.5 million deal will buy out his arbitration years. Clevenger will make $2 million in 21, $6.5 million in 22, and with a $3 million deferred bonus plus performance bonuses in 22. What do you think he's going to be worth the $11.5 million? Do you think they made a good move there, getting him for $11.5 million, not knowing how he's going to bounce back from Tommy John surgery?
I mean, for whatever reason, because of his age and Tommy John, it seems like that is the right move to do, you know? So I don't have a problem with it, you know? I would say I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. So you're saying the Padres are going to come ahead with this deal? They're not going to be looking like idiots.
If anything, yeah, I don't think they'll be looking like it is. If anything, I think it'll be a push.
Okay.
If anything, they might come out ahead, but definitely, I think at the worst, it's a push.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
$11.5 million deferred over, those 2 years with bonuses and stuff like that can or can't happen. Like I said, performance bonuses. I think $11.5 million to roll the dice on a potential Cy Young player. I mean, I think that they do a good thing there. For $11.5 million, I think I'd roll the dice on it. See how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was worth it. I think it's a good gamble.
Yeah,
it's a calculated risk.
I mean, if you're looking at like $25 million now, and I'm like, no. But at 11.5, I think it's a good gamble. It's a good risk. I think it's a good roll of the dice, and let's just see what happens. And I mean, if it works out for San Diego, damn, dude, they got somebody on the cheap, somebody really good on the cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think it's a good calculated risk for sure.
All right, fucking A. Yeah, I wish they would have. Shifting gears and moving over to the NFL, the Raiders have added 7 players to the reserve COVID-19 list to bring the total to 10 altogether, all from the defense. Safety.
Damn.
You already made your picks, sir. You already made your picks. Safety, Jonathan Abram. Defensive tackle, Malik Collins. Defensive tackle, Jonathan Haskins. Defensive lineman, David Irving, former Cowboy. Cornerback, Isaiah Johnson. And defensive end, Arden Key, along with the other defensive tackle, Kendall Vickers, have all been placed on the COVID-19 reserve list and will not be playing for the Raiders for the next at least 2 weeks. How does that hurt the Raiders? Pretty bad, I think. All 7 of those players. I mean, granted, there were 10 in total. The other 3, I didn't get a chance to look at the other 3, but they were all 10 of those players coming from the defensive side of the ball.
Well, they're playing the Chiefs this week, so let's see. Over under 50 points.
I think over, just because I think the Chiefs are going to put up 40. And I think the Raiders put up 10.
So that's under, right?
No. You're saying over under 50 altogether. I think the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs. I didn't say altogether. I said the Chiefs.
Oh, just the Chiefs? Under then. Yeah, no, under.
All right.
I think they pull out Mahomes in the third quarter when they're up by like 38. So.
That's funny. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Definitely.
Moving on to the Jags. The Jags fans are pushing for Yannick Ngakoue to make the Pro Bowl to improve the trade return. If Ngakoue makes the Pro Bowl, then the 5th round pick that the Jags received from the... I forget where he went. But anyways, it turns into a 4th rounder instead of a 5th round pick. So a lot of the Jags fans are trying to... they have a campaign on Reddit to try and make Ngakoue a Pro Bowler this year so they get a better return on that trade. What do you think about the fans making things happen on the sidelines here to try and get their team to do better?
I don't even know who that dude is, the one you're talking about, to be honest, but I think that's pretty good, man. I mean, a smart baseball, right?
I think so. I mean, football, but still, it's
yeah, football.
You may have had one too many already. There is a 3-drink minimum, Marty. It doesn't mean you have to drink 12, okay?
Well, that's smart, bro. I mean, who's that dude, though? Who's he play for?
He played for now. So the Jags traded, I want to say, to the Ravens. And he is a Pro Bowl candidate. They're talking about him going to the Pro Bowl this year. If he does go, then the stipulation of the trade, if he makes it to the Pro Bowl, then the 5th round pick turns into a 4th round pick, which definitely bodes better nowadays, getting a higher pick. So
that works out.
All right. I mean, I like it, fans. Keep fucking rocking.
I like the strategy. I like the strategy.
If the Cowboys were in the same kind of thing, and we got to vote for this other guy to get to the Pro Bowl, so we get a better draft pick. Well, fucking hey, you telling me I'm fucking holding up fucking banners outside? I'm gonna have balloons. I'm giving out fucking donuts. Like, let's vote this motherfucker in.
This fool said giving out donuts.
Okay, donut holes. Like, I'm not made of money, bro. We're gonna give out donut holes. Little cake pops, food. Cake pops.
Cake pops. Homemade Rice Krispie treats.
Hey, whatever makes it happen, bro. Whatever gives us a higher draft pick, I'm good to go with that. The NBA has lots of action going on. Big names, big trades, even a few early free agent signings and free agent holdings, honestly. Let's get started with the draft that took place just a couple of days ago. Artie, I'm going to let you go ahead and take point on this one.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you didn't see much of this draft or don't know much of this draft. But the Timberwolves, the top 3 was kind of all up in the air. Nobody quite knew where everybody was going. All the buzz was pretty much around LaMelo Ball, right? So that was like, is he going to go 1, 2, or 3? But they went Anthony Edwards, who was kind of the smart pick for the Timberwolves to go with. And so they took him at number 1. James Wiseman went number 2 to the Warriors. Again, another safe pick with the Warriors, an athletic player to partner with Steph Curry over there. So I like it. The Hornets were interesting because I feel like Michael Jordan has like the touch of death, right? Like when it comes to his draft picks and stuff like that. Like that dude, especially some that high, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's gambling, rolling the dice with LaMelo. Now, granted, LaMelo is a pretty damn good player, man. But just like his brother, the big issue is they have a really awkward shooting form. And here's my thing, dude. Just like his brother, right?
Uh-huh.
Like everything else of their game is what it should be at the pro level. And they have played throughout their careers dudes that are not at their level or that are not at the NBA level and can get their shots off. Okay? But at the NBA level, they're not going to be able to get their shots off. and dudes might start blocking it, might start contesting him a lot more, and then that starts messing with your confidence,
Right.
as what happened with Lonzo Ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I could see LaMelo still being a little bit better um, than his brother. So I like the pick. You know, they needed somebody with some superstar potential, and he has it. Um, I don't know much a lot about all these dudes. I have no idea. Patrick Williams from the Bulls. Cavs take Isaac Okoro. Hawks took Onyeke Okwangu. But what it is cool is that dude Onyeke played in at Chino Hills High School with, I believe, Lonzo Ball
Yes.
and LaMelo. So that is the first time that three dudes that played on one team were top 10 picks. And then obviously LaMelo and Lonzo are the first brothers to ever go in the top three of the NBA draft. So that stuff's pretty cool. And of course, they're my neighbors.
They're here from Chino.
You know, Chino Hills. So I'm a Chino guy, and they're Chino Hills. Different tax brackets. What can I say? The one that I thought was pretty cool was this Obi Toppin that the Knicks took. He's a local boy from New York, and he seemed to really take it to heart or take it personal, like in terms of going to the Knicks. I always kind of cheer for dudes that are kind of taking it on for the city type of thing.
Yeah.
That they're there playing for the fans. I really like that. So I wish him kind of nothing but the best. And I don't know much about the other two dudes. It says Denny Abaja for the Wizards and Jalen Smith for the Suns. But I do like what else is going on with the NBA, man. So obviously, I'm a big Lakers fan. The Lakers have been shaking and baking, sir.
Mm-hmm. Tell me how rich the Lakers have gotten.
So the Lakers traded away Danny Green to sign they traded away Dan Green and draft rights to Jaden McDaniels for Dennis Schroeder from Oklahoma City, who averaged 18.9 points a game last year and a career high 46.9% from the field. I thought that was a really good one because he's like a young guard, bro. And LeBron is only getting older, so he needs some dudes with a little bit of hype to him, a little bit of energy. And now that Rondo opted out and is not going to be playing with the Lakers next year, I think he's a perfect fit for the Lakers. The Lakers also are getting the reigning sixth man of the year, which is even better because the reigning sixth man of the year is Montrezl Harrell.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the Clippers. And so not only do we get the reigning sixth man of the year, we steal him away from the Clippers. And I'm hearing we're getting him a discount, bro, because he was looking to sign around like 14 to 18 mil a year, and this dude is taking like a cap-friendly 9 mil a year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. I still think he's going to be in double digits, if you ask me. But still, he is signing at a discount to come over and play with us. And the reason the Lakers jumped on signing him is because Dwight Howard decided to sign a one-year contract to go with the 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes perfect sense, dude. As a backup coming off the bench for the Lakers went Anthony Davis, who is officially an unrestricted free agent, but they're working on signing him to a long-term contract. So that's what's going on with the Lakers.
Real quick, I heard this about Anthony Davis, and just in passing, right? I just flipping through the channels hearing this. I heard that he has removed his Laker moniker on his Twitter and his Instagram, his social media, basically. And it doesn't show that he's a Lakers player right now. I mean, obviously he's not technically because he's a free agent. But he wants to sit back for a second and see where the money's coming from. Do you think he still signs with the Lakers, or do you think he gets a little greedy and goes somewhere else?
A plague on his house if he signs somewhere else.
A pox on his family.
All
right, Shakespeare.
Let's see here, man. That's the first thing I thought when you said that right now. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm over here on Twitter looking that damn shit up right now. Better not have done that. Let me just tell you. 'Cause, I don't know, man. Adrian Wojnarowski, which is the main dude for the NBA, says that they're looking to schedule him for a max contract with the Lakers. So it's just a formal commitment in the media hours, blah blah blah. So okay. If he's saying it, we're good, man. Because that dude, someone even tagged that thing with the whole Denzel, where like he grabs his heart and then he smiles. He's like, oh man, whew. I'm sweating for a moment there. But seriously though, dude, like that dude would be considered among the likes of like a Kevin Durant type of thing. Although, I mean, in fairness, Anthony Davis didn't sign with the Lakers. He was traded there. Yeah, he forced his way there, but it's not like he had a choice to go with the Lakers. You know, that's just where they sent him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And, you know, at some point, I know as an athlete, I wish I could feel what they're feeling in terms of the kind of money that they're going to be throwing at them. You know, I'd be happy with, you know, like a night out at McDonald's or something, you know, like anything where somebody wines and dines me for free. But,
I'll wine and dine you at McDonald's, bro. Don't even trip. I got you, boo-boo.
But someone, but imagine just being recruited. You know, it's like it's nice to feel wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
for
probably
sure.
what he wants. He just probably wants to feel wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to know what it feels like to be chased and to just see what's out there, test the waters. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the Lakers are going to give him a max contract. LeBron will break one of his legs if that dude doesn't resign. You know, like, and he'll do it. You know.
LeBron will break his legs because if he does it, I'm gonna do it. Goddamn it.
Yeah. So that was interesting, though, what you said. I didn't even know that, man. It hurt my heart a little bit.
Hey, man, I got to keep it real and I got to keep it, you know, coming at you at 100%. So
Yeah.
you got to stay on it. Other big news in the NBA: Houston, we have a problem. Looks like Russell Westbrook and James Harden are both on their way out. They've both been wanting to get traded away from the Rockets. Harden turned down a 2-year offer worth over $100 million and is reportedly trying to force his way to the Brooklyn Nets. Any word on where they think Russell Westbrook's going to land? Because I think at this point, well, let me ask you this. Because a lot of people are talking about who has the power here. Do the Rockets have the power, or does Harden have the power here? I know he wants to go over there, but he's still technically under contract for another year. Who has the power right now?
The Rockets, I think, have all the power. I honestly think the Rockets, because they're under the control of the team for another year. But I mean, they're trying to re-sign them. These are two dudes that I would not want on my team. I don't think either one. Well, I don't know. I mean, if they go join a super team, I think maybe they win a championship. But dude, these are two dudes that, you know, Harden is with Houston now. He was with Oklahoma City. He strikes me as a little bit of prima donna. Every year his team does really well in the regular season, and then they get the playoffs, and of course someone comes and whoops their ass in the playoffs. Russell Westbrook basically forced his way out of Oklahoma City and got out of there, and now he wants out of Houston. That's why I could tell, like, Chris Paul wanted to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, man, these dudes are bad news. Let me get out of here before this thing gets worse. You know?
Yeah.
That's the feeling I got, especially seeing this now. I mean, Harden turned down over $100 million, dude. But, you know, they're talking about how he sees the window for him to win a championship closing really fast. And both of them, dude. Like, I could see both of them, their windows for winning a championship closing. And the NBA, bro, they're just like, there's so many prima donnas, man, and it is so much easier to build a super team and win a championship in the NBA because 5 players control what's going on the court. You know, it's not like a baseball team where you need so many players to do so many different things just to have a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Mike Trout, you know, pretty much the best player in baseball, and just because he's the best player he's only made the playoffs once and never even won a game in the playoffs. You know, like,
yeah.
He has nothing to do with all of that, you know?
Yeah. He's 1 for 5 in the playoffs, by the way. But
yeah, he's 1 for 5? Like, hits?
Something stupid like that, yeah. A bunch of fielders' choices and walks and stuff like that.
He had his one was a home run though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember his one being a home run. So, but anyways, like it's just, and then the NBA again, like 5 players could make a huge difference. 3 players really could run a team. They just have the right supporting cast. I don't know, dude. Bunch of crybabies, if you ask me.
Long has it gone away from the guys that are loyal to the teams that brought them up and showed them the way and try and stay with them. Long has that gone away, and now guys are just trying to get those rings and just trying to move around and make super teams. Look at Braun. I mean, let's be honest. It is what it is at that point. I mean, sad news here. Klay Thompson suffered a season-ending Achilles injury in practice. He was on pace to be a Hall of Fame caliber player, but the injuries have taken toll on the Warriors. How are the Warriors looking? Are they going to be contenders next year again, Artie? What are you thinking?
For a championship, but they'll be in the playoffs because Steph Curry's back. He was looking healthy at the end of the year. Then they traded for some dude. I forgot who they traded for. And then they picked up the number 2 pick overall. Mm-hmm. So it's like, damn, dude. I mean, if you can't win with that, at least make the playoffs. I don't know what else you want. You really need Klay Thompson. It's the only way you're gonna win or make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Do you think make the playoffs? Do you think they go after anybody to add to the quote unquote super team?
No, because they're still on the hook for all the money for Klay. So, even though he's hurt, they still got to pay him. So I don't think they go.
You don't think they go after somebody like Russell Westbrook or anybody else out there trying to?
Well, who are they going to trade? They want draft picks. You know what I'm saying? They want draft picks
true that.
And a guy that's ready to play right now. So, I mean, the best ship would be trading that number 2 right now. It's like, you want Westbrook for that number 2? I don't know, man. I would say
I would pass on that one. Maybe a third or fourth, but not number 2. And finally, Chris Paul, which I thought I had heard things flying around out there that he was going to make his triumphant finally return / first time there as a Laker, but he is with the Suns now.
He's local still-ish. He's not too far. He's a little
still-ish. I definitely wish Chris Paul would have gone with the Lakers, man. Just because it should have happened years ago. He should have played with Kobe, and then it got blocked, and then he got traded to the Clippers, and then it seemed like they were really blocking the ability for the Lakers to build what you colorfully called the super team. And now everybody's fucking building super teams now. It's like it can't be stopped. Imagine what would have happened if Chris Paul would have been able to play with Fisher and Kobe at the same time. Maybe they win an extra 1 or 2 floating around over there. But he has been traded to the Phoenix Suns. What you thinking about that, Artie?
I mean, I think that's a great trade for Phoenix. I think it makes them a better team. Devin Booker's a great player, so he's going to create a lot of shots for Devin Booker, who's just like an elite scorer, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. And they also got that other dude. I believe he was the number 1 pick in the draft like 3 years ago. Dayton something. I forgot. He came out of what college he come out of? I forgot what college he came out of. So I think he's going to make that team better, and he's going to make them a contender. Does he win it all? I don't know, man. He's how many miles does he have on him? And poor guy, he seems to get hurt all the time. Like when it gets later on into the clutch time,
Yeah.
So it's like he's got a lot of mileage, man. He's towards the twilight of his career for sure. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, but man, I don't know. I think the Suns are one key piece away from actually being a serious title contender. But see, you know what, Westbrook and Harden, Chris Paul ain't gonna okay that trade. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It would have to be someone else. I'm not sure who.
Well, we'll have to wait. Whoa, everything okay over there?
Yeah, just grab another beer out of the.
All right, good.
Just over there.
Good, because we're about to switch gears and go right into some football. The Hail Murray? It was a great pun. It basically took over the MVP conversation between him and Mr. Russell, the Muscle Wilson. And then Russell came out and said, "Bitch, who are you?" They kind of smacked each other around, back and forth, back and forth. It was a really good defensive game as well, to be honest with you. But they had some great moments from both Murray and Wilson. But Wilson ended up handing Murray the loss and maybe a pat on the shoulder, going, "Maybe when I'm not here, you can be the MVP. But while I'm here, it ain't happening."
Maybe next year, kid. Maybe next year, kid. Wait your turn in line. I've been trying to get this one for a while. Yeah, man. I still think Russell is got to be the leader for the MVP. I mean, I thought Kurt Murray had jumped into the lead with the Hail Murray, but after he lost to Wilson, I feel like he lost the lead again. So I feel like it became more of a 3-horse race again. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, and Wilson. Again, I've been riding Wilson all year because I think that team is nowhere near where they're at without him. You know, like, that dude's been fighting players every week are hurt. You know, his running back hasn't been playing for the last 2 or 3 weeks. He seems to always be having to air it out to give his chance to win, his team a chance to win. And he's just kind of made the big plays when he's had to. Yeah, he's not undefeated, or even, I think they have 2 losses, right? But like, he went out and beat, Kyle Murray, So I don't know, man. I'll take Wilson. I like him. I don't think Mahomes. I think Mahomes is gonna have like that syndrome of, the Michael Jordan kind of syndrome, or the LeBron James, where they just want to root for someone else,
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, it's sad because Mahomes is still doing Mahomes things. I think they only have 1 loss right now, and it's to the Raiders that they're going to play this week, and they're absolutely going to demolish because there's nobody on defense. I think the Raiders are basically going to walk out there with like 4 people on defense at this point. And
you should go play.
I know at this point, listen here, Raiders fans. If you guys are ready to rock and roll, grab your pads, grab your jerseys, meet the Raiders at freaking in Kansas City, and get ready to get in there and play. Coach, I'm ready to go.
Put me in, Coach. Put me in.
Speaking of players and stuff like that, the Saints, Drew Brees is not gonna make it, guys. He's not gonna be here this I don't say this season, but this game. We'll see where it goes after this, but they're not gonna go with Jameis Winston. The obvious veteran backup is why they got him. They're gonna go with Taysom Hill for this game. What do you think with that decision? Or do you think they're just trying to see what Taysom Hill is going to be able to do? Do you think they got Winston ready to go just in case shit's not going the way they want it to? I mean, is Taysom Hill going to take over and not let go? I mean, you tell me, Artie.
What's do the old switcheroo, bro? I think they're going to start with
the rope-a-dope?
Yeah, so that way the team prepares for Hill, and then here comes Jameis.
Speaking of Jameson, that's what I'm having tonight. So I think it's the same thing. I think they start with Taysom Hill, and then they audible, and here comes Jameis Winston from the slot coming in, and then Taysom Hill goes back into the tight end position, and then we call it a game from there. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Sean Payton's the crafty son of a bitch, and we'll have to see what he has in store. Maybe Taysom Hill first quarter, Jameis Winston the rest of the game.
Yeah, I see the rope-a-dope. Like I said, I really do believe it. I really do think that's what's going to happen.
All right, man. It's that time of the week, dude, where we get into our picks. Obviously, we can't use the game that happened yesterday. But it was great. It was a pretty decent game going into the end there. It was back and forth. I think it was people thought maybe the Hail Murray was going to be a Hail Murray part 2, but it didn't happen. The Seattle Seahawks did get that last second sack. But we got a couple picks here. We did differ on 1 or 2, which is going to make or break the season right now. We are all tied up here. Pittsburgh and the Jags. I think we've both chose Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's just on a tear, and I don't think the Jags are going to be the team that's going to knock them off. Honestly, they said Pittsburgh at this point has the third easiest schedule going the rest of the way. So they may have an opportunity to go all the way undefeated. Oh, did I just say that shit? My bad. I don't want to jinx them. Jinx. But Pittsburgh is looking.
They're one of my ultra locks. I had Kansas City as one of my ultra locks, and now Pittsburgh as ultra.
I mean, they are looking really fucking good. Let's just be honest, all right? I think if anybody has a chance to go undefeated in the season, I think Pittsburgh right now has that.
Considering they're the only team left in the.
Well, I mean,
I would put my money on them to go undefeated.
I'm just saying, like over the last few years, there have been a couple teams that have flirted with it, but haven't finished out the postseason as undefeated, like the Dolphins did back in the day.
Over the past couple of years,
the Patriots went undefeated in the regular season, but did not finish. Yeah. They lost to the Giants.
Couple is like 2. I even give you 5. That must have been almost 10 years ago, bro.
Bro, that was like 2 years ago. What are you talking about?
Get out of here.
It was like Super Bowl XLI, XXI, PPI. Come on. Anywho, I think Pittsburgh definitely has the opportunity to go undefeated this season, and has a strong chance to go into the playoffs. Maybe the championship.
2007. So we're talking 13 years ago.
Are you serious? It's 13 years ago. Wow, it felt like a couple years ago, man. But I think Pittsburgh has a chance to go into the AFC Championship game undefeated, and I'm not sure who's going to be there with them. But at that point, I mean, it would be the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that's all she wrote. I think the Miami Dolphins stay undefeated. They stay the only team to be undefeated in an entire season through the playoffs and win the championship.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this.
Dolphins that did it, right?
Yeah, it was the Dolphins. 76 Dolphins, I want to say, somewhere around there.
That was a couple years ago.
It was 1 or 2 years ago. Let me ask you this now, Mr. Ultra Locks here, Mr. Pittsburgh versus Kansas City. Who you got in the AFC Championship game if these two teams are meeting each other in the AFC Championship game, which I'm calling right now. That's the AFC Championship game.
Between the Chiefs and Pitt?
Yeah, if Pittsburgh and the Kansas City Chiefs meet in the AFC Championship game and Pittsburgh goes undefeated, so then they're playing in Pittsburgh, they're not playing in Kansas City, who wins that game?
They're not playing in Pittsburgh, you said?
No, they're playing in Pittsburgh because Kansas City already has one loss. Technically, Pittsburgh would be the higher seeded one. They'd be playing in Pittsburgh. A hush goes across the crowd as we wait for Artie's pick. That was a long and a.
Man, it's just Kansas City has so much firepower and offense, dude. I mean, Pittsburgh does too, dude, but they're just different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they say they're built different?
Yeah.
Like, man, Kansas City is built different, dude.
If they were playing in Kansas City, I would say Kansas City. But because they're playing in Pittsburgh, I'm like, ugh. That cold.
The weather's gonna be bad.
Oh yeah. I mean, Kansas City's not a walk in the park either, but it's not going to be fucking Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, I guess.
Pittsburgh goes undefeated into the Super Bowl. Who do they face in the Super Bowl? Pittsburgh and...
But here's the thing. I think Pittsburgh loses somewhere before that.
Where? They have the easiest... They have the easiest.
No. I didn't say the regular season.
Regular season. You think they lose in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're going to lose in the playoffs.
They're going to lose in the divisional series against who?
I don't know, man. Just call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Crazy?
Something like that's going to happen.
Okay. Let's just say Pittsburgh gets by Kansas City. They're going in undefeated into the Super Bowl. Who are they meeting in the Super Bowl?
Kansas. You said Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh goes into the Super Bowl. They go into Kansas City. They beat Kansas City. Kansas City goes into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beats them. Pittsburgh is now going undefeated into the Super Bowl. Who do they play, and do you think they win?
They play. They play the Rams.
What? What? Somebody take away whatever you're drinking or smoking. Take that away from Artie right now. Jesus Christ.
The Rams they beat, who'd they beat last week? They beat somebody for the upset of the week, right?
Yeah.
You know, that my boy Ken said?
It was. I have my money on Green Bay, actually. Aaron Rodgers is looking good, man. No,
they don't play defense, man.
No, they're slingers.
They don't play defense.
Put her in the old holster.
I honestly think that's why the Rams might make it there, dude, because they play defense, dude.
Okay. So we got so now we have Pittsburgh and the Rams in the Super Bowl. Who wins this game?
Pittsburgh wins it.
So Pittsburgh becomes the second team to win or to go undefeated the entire year.
I told you, I think that Pittsburgh's gonna lose in we need to make our brackets, bro. We need to make our brackets when this comes out, because I almost think like you're setting me up here, because I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna go undefeated. Not the whole year, like with the playoffs. I think they're gonna lose in the playoffs. Probably the division round. Maybe they even lose, because I have a feeling. Man, I just don't think Pittsburgh and Kansas City is going to be in there. I think one of them two is going to get upset. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And let me just tell you, I could see Pittsburgh losing the division, or I could see Kansas City losing in the AFC, like in the title game. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, let's get in.
I'll tell you what. One of those two is not making it to the AFC title game. Which one? I don't know. One of those two is not making it. And I tell you what, if Kansas City makes it to the Super Bowl, they're winning the Super Bowl.
What if Pittsburgh makes it to the Super Bowl? Do you think they're winning the Super Bowl?
No, I told you I don't think they're making it.
I'm saying if they do, are they winning it?
I got to see who they're playing and how hot they are and stuff like that, you know?
Okay. All right, speaking of making those picks, baby, let's make the picks for the week. For these, if you guys are looking to win your weekend pools, and you still got a chance to put them in, or making those bets for Sunday, here's the breakdown of what me and Artie got going on. Pittsburgh and Jaguars, we both got Pittsburgh going in the week. Detroit and Carolina, we both think Detroit's going to pull this one out. New England versus Houston. We both have Houston rocking and rolling, so me and Artie are neck and neck here, eye to eye here, most of the way. The first 3 and now 4, Tennessee and Baltimore. We both think Baltimore is going to go ahead and run over Tennessee. I think Tennessee has gotten into a bit of a, who are we really? Are we that good? I think they're second guessing themselves. I think Baltimore goes and takes that one. Here's the first differential right here. Artie's going with Cleveland over Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to go into Cleveland. Unfortunately, they're going to win. That means my Cowboys are going to be completely out of the playoff picture at this point, which who cares at this point? Anybody who's coming out of the NFC East is definitely not going anywhere. So, whatever. Atlanta.
That's why I'm rooting for Philly to lose, man, because I think Philly, that way the Cowboys have a shot.
Whatever.
Dude, you never know. Dak might come out there with the cast. And
what about the offensive lineman? There's nobody there on the offense, the offensive lineman, so it doesn't matter what Dak does.
Somebody there.
I mean, there's bodies there, but they're not doing anything other than getting in the way as people run them over.
Yeah, but there's people there.
So I think Philly's actually going to take this one. I think they're going to end up taking the NFC East with like 5 wins, but whatever. Atlanta versus New Orleans. We both got New Orleans, even though Taysom Hill is going to be doing the old rope-a-dope, and I think Jameis Winston, along with you, think Jameis Winston is going to come in pretty quickly, and it's going to shake things up for Atlanta. They're not going to be ready for it. We both got Cincinnati beating the no-name team from Washington. And by the way, did you hear that Washington is really thinking about keeping the Washington football team instead of actually picking a name?
No, I did not know that.
There is rumor mill out there saying that Washington is really strongly deciding on keeping the Washington football team instead of actually bringing a name into it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens after this season. Thankfully for the Washington the Washington football team, their season's going to be over in about 4 weeks. So we'll know sooner than later. We got
hating for it. Your season's been hurting too.
My season's been done like 4 weeks ago. All right, leave me alone.
That's the juju you're putting on your team, though.
Don't bring that juju on me, dude. Don't. Just
You've been bringing it.
The New York Jets versus the L.A. Chargers. We both got the Chargers coming in there and winning that one. The Jets are just absolutely horrible. They're going to get the first round pick next season or next draft. So it's a no-brainer going with the Chargers on this one. Miami versus Denver. We're both going Miami. Troy Taluga definitely showed what he's all about last week, and I think he's going to show some more in Denver, at Denver, and beat the Denver Broncos. Dallas versus Minnesota. Minnesota's going to win that one. Green Bay versus Indiana. We both got Green Bay, although Indianapolis as looking quite well the last two games. Freaking what's his name? Rivers is looking not terrible right now, so maybe give it a game. But I think Rodgers is going to go ahead and take that one. Obviously, Kansas City is just going to run over the defensively depleted Las Vegas Raiders. And then finally, where we differ again, the LA Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady Buccaneers. I'm going with Tampa Bay because they're playing in Tampa Bay over the Rams, and you got the Rams over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we'll have to see where the season goes from there, or where the week goes from there. So,
hiya! I'm just going with the homer pick there.
Right on, that homer pick might give me an edge here, so we'll have to wait and see.
We shall see. They are who we thought they are.
All right, Artie. I mean, unless you got something else, that's about it. That's all we got this week, folks.
That's all she wrote. All right. Well, we're back to square one, man. We're back on lockdown. I don't know how serious you think people are taking it, though, this lockdown, especially with Newsom. He's just, you know what I'm saying, with what he did. Like, I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to keep doing what I do. I don't think I'm going to do anything different. But I just feel like people are not taking it as serious this time because, like, all right. So you want us to not go anywhere, not do anything, but it's cool for you. Go celebrate your birthday indoors with people, not wear masks. All right.
If you want my honest opinion, I'm going to tell you this much. Because I work in retail and because I work where I work, I'll tell you this much. Nobody took it serious the first time.
I did.
No. Come on. The majority of people didn't take it serious. The majority of people were like, this is a fucking lie. And blah, blah, blah. You're impeding on my rights. I can't breathe because I have a mask on. Right. Shut the fuck up. If people had taken it seriously the first time, we wouldn't be doing this the second time. Let's just be fucking absolutely real with this shit. Guys, I mean, for whatever hostilities and things that you think of or see the fucking Mr. Gavin Newsom do, like, be smart about some shit. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. If you don't have to be in huge groups, don't be in huge groups. Just take it for what it is. Stay home. Take the opportunity and do that. Unless you absolutely have to go out and do something, then don't absolutely go. Unless, you're going golfing like we do. But there's only like 2 or 3 of us at a time, so we're still within the guidelines. Plus, I got a new set of clubs coming in on Sunday, so I want to break them in. So
Only one way.
There's only one way, and that's to play. All right, Artie, let's give them the goodbye, and then we'll rock and roll, man.
I don't even know if they're listening though, man. Like if they're listening to what we're supposed to be doing, but we'll give it a try anyways. Hey, make sure to wear your mask, wash your hands, and protect yourselves. Don't do what Newsom did, man. Just because, don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. We still have to find a way to take care of ourselves, you know. You know what? I got to make sure. I don't know if I told you this, Anthony, but one of our good friends and he's been on the show and he's one of our popular listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Andrade caught a case of the COVID.
No.
Yeah, man. That dude. So it's like, man, Anthony, were you not listening to what I was saying? Like, come on, Anthony. Like that dude got a case of COVID, and that dude like, oh, I think I'm gonna die. Blah blah blah. But he, on all seriousness, he's been okay. He's at home. He just was really sick and not feeling well, and yeah, man. So it's like one of those. Like, just be careful, guys. Like, be careful. I get it. I know how we all just kind of want to go back to how things were, or say, hey, roll the dice and say, you know what? If I get it, I get it. But I mean, it just might not be worth it. And Anthony's he's told me, he's man, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody. He got it bad,
I mean, I know that between the two of us, we know a few people that have gotten it, and it's unfortunately hit them pretty badly. With Andy getting hit with it, my boss, Magana, getting hit with it, and both of them, along with what Anthony's telling you right now, have both said, man, I don't wish this on anybody. Like, god damn, like it. I mean, even to this day, my boss is still telling me, Magana is still telling me, like, man, I still don't feel 100%. It's been 3 months since I had it, and I still don't feel 100%. Like, I get up too fast, or I'm trying to do something, and like, my chest hurts, and I know, like, man, this shouldn't be doing this way. It's just he's not at 100% even 3 months after the fact. So guys, please wear those masks. Hell, grab some neck gaiters. I mean, I know, Artie, you got one of the Blown Save podcast neck gaiters today, right?
I sure did. I even ordered a Blown Save mask, bro. I'm excited. That thing got shipped too. I got the message that said it got shipped today.
Outstanding. Make sure you guys, I mean, you don't have to, but you can order some Blown Save podcast masks and neck gaiters and stuff like that. Head on over to the website, theblown.podcast.com, and you can go to the bottom and check out the links and stuff like that. I'm working on some more stuff. Haven't perfected stuff yet that I don't want to put out yet, but there is some more stuff coming out. But definitely get your PPE taken care of however way you can. With the neck gaiters, the masks, whatever it might be. Just make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves.
Mi gente, I'll see you guys next week. If not, happy Thanksgiving. If for some reason we get caught up doing the family stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you guys once again for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on the social media scene, so that way you guys know if we are gonna, take a break or whatever it might be. Follow us on Twitter at blown_save and on Instagram at theblown_save. Don't forget, you can still reach out to us at theblownsavedpodcast@gmail.com. We do have a bunch of merch like we were talking about. We got some shirts, sweaters, hoodies, masks, neck gaiters, whatever it might be. There's plenty more to come. If you're listening to us from the website, at the bottom of the homepage is the link to the merch. So make sure you guys are checking all that stuff out. I think that's it, guys. Just be safe. Monica, if you guys are listening, I know we said we were going to get into the hockey stuff. We just didn't have time today to get into all of the stuff we wanted to. But we definitely will. We definitely will get into it, I promise.
I had known, Monica.
And on that note, guys, you guys have a great night. We love you guys. Be safe. We'll catch you all next week. If not, the week after. And if at that case, happy Halloween. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Be safe on Black Friday. Shop from home. Do all your shopping from home and be safe, guys. Have a good one.